first of all, Coach, your team officially started practice a little over a week ago, and now you are a few days out from your 2017 opener. Do you like where the Bulldogs are at this point?
So far, the answer is yes. It's hard to say after only a week of practice, but we did have a time trial on Saturday morning, and it's been at the same place the last few years, and the results were positive compared to the previous 2 years.
Okay, you returned 13 lettermen, 6 of your 7 runners who competed in the NCAA Division II Central Regionals last November, and that was your final meet of 2016. Is this the deepest and most experienced team you've had in your 8 seasons here, would you say?
Hard to say. It's right there. I know that, a couple times we've had similar situations with a lot of guys returning, and I hate to rank one group over a different group, but, we're in good shape as long as we stay healthy throughout the season, that with the returners we have, we should have some positive results throughout the season.
And a lot of seniors. Who are some of the folks you'll be counting on to be among your top 5 or 6 finishers on a week-in, week-out basis?
With juniors and seniors. Last year we were led throughout most of the season with Isaac Overmeyer, a junior, and Henry, or he's a sophomore then, but he's returning junior. Henry Jessen was a leader. Cody Sedbrook is a senior. Had very successful seasons. Blake Anderson was in the top 7 on a regular basis. Moving up this year, Luke Lahr should help out a lot with the team. So it'll just be nice to have some depth to cover spots 4, 5, 6, 7 in case guys are out or have an off meet.
Okay, and you've added 5 freshmen to the 2017 mix. Any of those first-year guys you see having an impact?
One will probably be out with an injury, and of the other 4, it's tough to say just because of the transition from high school to college, because in high school they run 5,000 meters, and in college we run 8,000 meters, and eventually even at the regional meet 10,000 meters. So and with having so many guys returning, it will be tough for the freshman group to crack the top 7. I believe a couple of them can, but we'll wait for that to occur as the season transpires.
And UMD was ranked 3rd in the NSIC preseason coaches poll and 8th in the USTFCCA Central Region preseason rankings. Is that kind of where you have them?
In the ballpark, yes. It's hard to say because the top 6 teams in the conference are all going to be very close to each other. So if you compare the conference rankings with the regional rankings that just came out, teams have moved around. And so, Moorhead's ahead of us in the conference rankings. We're ahead of them in the regional rankings. We're ahead of University of Mary in the conference rankings, but Mary beat us at the conference meet last year. Minnesota Mankato was below us in the conference rankings, but ahead of us in the regional rankings. So basically, we fit in among those top 6 teams. We know on a good day where we should be hopefully high in that group. But again, it comes down to peaking at the right time at the end of the season, being healthy throughout the season, and if that occurs, this could be a really successful year for this group.
Was it last year that they pushed the conference and everything back?
I think it was 2 years ago when they do the festival year. Okay. So this year we're on a normal schedule, so at least the conference meet and the regional meets, we hopefully shouldn't have to worry about it occurring in the middle of November and worrying about cold weather and blizzards and stuff.
Looking back, how did that go?
It's just hard to train when it starts getting colder and you're trying to run your regional meet in the middle of November, and if the roads are snowy and frozen and icy, it gets dark early. It is a little more difficult training aspects wise at that time of the year. We found a way to deal with it, but it's nicer when we don't have, in my mind, those extra 2 weeks to deal with.
And for folks that don't know a lot about cross-country running, what are the differences in what your team is training now, or how they're training now compared to what they'll be doing in November come conference and region time?
So right now we're still doing a lot of base miles. So, we've got guys on my team averaging between 55 miles a week, up to 100. The majority of them are in the 70-mile range. And In time, we'll start some interval workouts, some longer interval workouts on the grass or on the trails. We'll throw some hills in there too, but right now we're still just working on some base mileage for another couple of weeks before we really start getting into we'll decrease the mileage a bit, but the intensity is going to increase.
So what are you going to do drastically different in November leading up to the conference and region?
And then the mileage will come down, and the number of intervals that we do will go down. So instead of running 10 by 1,000 meters for a 10,000 meter workout, as we're trying to peak, we may cut it down to 5 or 6. So the workouts get shorter, the intensity might increase a bit more, but by then we're just fine tuning.